Peace. How's everybody doing? I see y'all coming in. What's good, good peoples? I know I'm always randomly popping up live, but it felt like a good time to go live. Y'all let me know if you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Y'all can hear me good? Peace, peace, peace. Love and light, everybody. Love and light, everybody. How's everybody doing today? We're going to talk about a little spiritual warfare today. We're going to talk about how the mind is the battlefield. So I'm going to just give everybody a little minute, get yourselves together and everything. Peace to everybody that's hopping in. I appreciate everybody. So I'm going to give everybody a second to kind of hop in, but we're going to build on the mind. We're going to talk about the mind being the battlefield. Right. We got to connect. We got to connect, tribe. We got to check on each other. Do our mental awareness check with each other, because society doesn't do it. And we are a tribe. So, we relate to each other. We a bunch of black sheep and family outcasts and star seeds, whatever we calling ourselves, the chosen ones. We all of that. So this is a safe space for that. Safe space. Right. Come and be your authentic self. Right. We're gonna talk about the mind. We're gonna talk about the mind today, people. I made a couple of posts already. I put up a note post. Now, it was very light. It was kind of light, just trying out a little, little light, little symbols of what I could see. That was all off of memory, though. I only saw it once. I watched it the one time. I would definitely need to check that one out again. I would definitely need to do that one. Jordan Peele was a little bit more, he was hiding a little bit more now, but it's definitely jewels in it. Just reading some of y'all comments was sparking a lot of thoughts for me, because when I finished up the video, I was like, that was really short, and I wanted to keep it short purposely. But I was like, I know there's so many things in there that I missed out on. So I took it as a moment to, kind of connect with y'all, to drop what y'all think about the movie in the comments. So I saw some real interesting comments. The monkey that was killing the people in Japan. Okay. So I appreciate y'all for engaging on the post. I always encourage the engagement, even if I'm not commenting as much. It'd be a lot of trolls and what have you. So, but I do see you all. I do see you. I absolutely do. And we are always emphasizing how there's truth in the movies. Movies are pretty much modern day parables. They're pretty much modern day parables, because they're relaying an analogy. They're teaching you principles. They're giving you lessons. That's if you have the eye to be able to see it. So you always got to remember, even when we're being entertained, we are still allowing access into our minds, into our mental. I mean, ment itself means mind. So we are allowing things to enter our minds to purposely distract us, because that's the main purpose of entertainment, right? Is to distract us, right? But for those who have the eye, if you're awake, you're awake at all times. You see everything that's coming at you. So we are cursed, as well as, have the ability to be able to see the truth in the matter. The alien was God's source, the higher self. Ooh, that's interesting, Will. That's interesting. I know you probably did a breakdown. I'm going to have to go check that out. I'm going to have to go check it out. Definitely going to have to check that out. So, but the movies, the truth is always in the movies. And it's funny because we expect the truth from the news. And the news is the most heavily riddled with propaganda. So, you know, always be mindful of that when we're dealing with the news. We know we're dealing with propaganda. We know we're dealing with forced and pushed, concepts onto our mental. And ultimately, all of your movies pretty much have the same template. They pretty much have the same template. As far as, your mythological figures, the archetypes. Remember I talked about archetypes when we were talking about astrology. The same thing applies as far as mythology. Everything is talking about your higher mind. Everything is all about your mind. Because if your mind, it's no need to control you if you can control the mind. You control the mind, you control the person. So it's all about the mind. This is a different game now. See, we are so accustomed, decades ago, the battle was in the forefront. What was being directed at us, but we're in a different time. We're in a different day and age. This matrix has been upgraded. So we got to pay attention to how it has changed. I mean, the matrix changed just as much as we have changed. Right? So, it's kind of all in how it goes. And ultimately, when we're looking at these, the hero's journey, we're going from tragedy to triumph. You're talking about understanding the kingdom being within you. Knowing that everything goes back to self. It's really just talking about your own journey. But it's just, it's pretty much the greatest story that's ever told, being repeatedly told to you over and over. Over and over. So the key is to understand the role that you play. Who are you in the story? Who are they telling you to be in the story? All those things is it. It's all about control out of fear. Absolutely. Fear is it. Because if you can maintain, or if you can stay in a fear state, if you can stay in a state of fear, you're gonna be low vibrational. It's gonna be hard for you to even receive or download from those higher dimensions, because them chakras closed off. That's why you got to do the chakra work. That's why you got to do the energy work or the shadow work, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, whether you deal with chakras, whether you deal with magic and ritual, it don't matter. It's all the same. It's all telling you the same thing. It go back to you, and it depends on you and what you're gonna do. It goes back to the same thing. Now, how you want to say it, that's up to you. We find ourselves caught up in a lot of these little trivial arguments behind semantics, behind words, behind vocabulary. But in reality, it's all really interconnected, talking about the same thing. It's all interconnected, talking about the same thing. It's really talking about you. So, like I say, that the movies are the modern day parables. So that means that when you see the movies, because we're talking about occult knowledge, we're talking about Gnostic information, right? So we're talking about what's commonly hidden from the public, right? And so a lot of times that's dealt with in a hidden or in a coded language. But do we understand the symbology to be able to know the language? Because it's just speaking to you in symbols. It's just speaking to you in symbols. Now, Jordan Peele, he's usually more, I feel like the other two were a lot more direct. And when we dealing with this one, I think we kind of triggering something different in the note thing. Because we talking about aliens. The whole concept of alien. What's the alien? Because there's different ways you can approach that. There's different ways you can approach that. And how you want to look at it. Because if we want to talk about alien, right? Or if we want to say extraterrestrial, we are talking about what's not of the earth. Right? But where's the soul from? Where's the soul from? Is the soul of this earth? Do we know? It's all in how you want to look at it. So when I put up a post yesterday, and I was talking about the reptilian portion of the brain, I want to be clear. I want us to understand that, and that's why I weeks ago made a post about the snake, because we have been programmed. We typically see a snake and we think of it as a bad thing. Now, we always gotta remember everything is upside down. So what's usually bad is good, and what's usually good is bad. That'd be the okie doke. What's good is bad, and what's bad is good. So, and I want y'all to know that I wasn't saying that to say the reptilian is the bad thing. I wasn't saying it to say that. It's to understand beyond what we are accustomed to knowing. See, the snake has always been seen as the great ancestor. The snake has always been seen as the great ancestor. When you look at its purpose in voodoo, even when you look at in some Christian churches, how they use the snake. The snake is very symbolic. But we only know what we know because we've been programmed to see things a certain way. And it typically goes back to the Adam and Eve story. It typically goes back to that. It's a very deep program. The same way we have the same way we try and suppress the feminine energy. It's a programming. It's a purposeful programming. It's for a reason. So that you lack knowledge about yourself. And you're not able to find your way back to yourself. That's all it really is. Because see, your kundalini is represented by the snake. So if you have the program, and if you thinking the snake is evil, the snake is bad, and that's a big part of your spiritual body, your spiritual energy, what is that going to do to you on a subconscious level? On a subconscious level. And then we wonder why so many of our things, so many of our ancient ways, traditions, and way of seeing things is seen as bad. It's seen as evil. It's really right there in front of us as to why that is. It's not really a coincidence. And see, we can take a lot of these parables and these allegories, and we can address different things because there's so many ancient or passive antiquity that dealt in these things. But it's very vital that you know how important your mind is in the midst of everything. Because everything is just out to get your mind. Everything is out to get your mind. Whether that's for the means of to get you to buy something through capitalism, whether that's to control you and manipulate you. However, whichever narrative you choose to look at, regardless, at the end of the day, is to take your mind from you. So it's on you, right? Have your mind. The yellow brick road. The snake, the spine. Absolutely. You gotta follow that yellow brick road. Absolutely, Will. It's the spine. That's your Jacob's ladder. That's how you get to heaven. But the programming is so deep. That's why I said what I said when I made that post, and I said, you're too afraid to live because you can't see through the veil of evil. Now, when you look at the word evil, and you look at veil, and you look at live, they all have the same letters. This is word magic. This is the spell of the English language that's been placed on this. That's the word magic. Too afraid to live because you can't see through the veil of evil. Because everything that was taken from you, a veil is placed over it now, and it's labeled as evil. And as long as you fear that, you'll never pierce that veil. It's by design. It's by design. It's to keep shackles on your mind. Jacob's ladder is your DNA strands, absolutely. Now see, that's the double helix. When you're looking at the helix of the DNA, it's also symbolized in the snake. It can also be a symbol for the DNA when we're talking about snakes. And then when you looking at the metaphysical, esoteric meaning of the snake, transformation, transmutation. We got to take our power back. We just got to take our power back. We have to stop being so fearful. We have to stop being so fearful. Now, there's a mass group of us that we can't do nothing about. We can't do nothing about. All we can do is focus on ourselves. Save yourself, and you will ultimately save everybody else. But everything has been flip-flopped and perverted. So I said that to say, maybe you are the reptilian. Maybe you are the alien. Maybe you are everything that they told you to fear. Maybe that's the point. So you never wake up to your power. If you're outnumbered anyway, you have to have another means of control. We got to think about it. We got to think about it. How they keep all them slaves on the plantations? How? It's a mind thing. It's a mind. You have the mind. You have the body. You don't have to physically do anything to the body if you have the mind. They told us that already. They really tell us. They tell us in the movies. But see, the thing is, the TV got us so jacked up because we're looking at it in reverse. So when we see people and things on TV, right, we take that as face value. And we're not supposed to do that. We don't see people as actors. We don't see them as playing a role. That's why we can't see this spirituality played out in our life. That's why we can't see people playing roles in our life that we are in control of. We dead sleep as a collective. We can't see. So these things from Hollywood has programmed us to believe things a certain way and only that way. You feel me? So when something is labeled a certain way, a very specific image comes into your mind. Why do you think that is? It's by design. And you gotta remember, this is global. This is worldwide. This is everywhere in the world. There's people that have never been in America, never met a black man in America, but has an idea of what a black man in America is. Now, where do you think he gets that idea from? Where do you think that idea comes from? Where does that image come from? All this shit come from TV. See, everything got a double-edged sword. Because, see, they play the games, right? They put the little hidden shit in the movies and everything. They showing it to you. But they let you know, hey, look, this just some science fiction. You know, this just some entertainment. But we can't always peep the game. We can't always peep the game. That's why it's called TV programming. Even down to the music. That's why it's called radio programming. Everything's a program. Because remember, your mind is a computer. Just like a computer you use. So when your mind programs such a way, so deeply, that when you want to try and do something different, you don't even know how to go about doing it. It's like a computer that's an Apple. It's like an Apple computer and you trying to run a Windows software. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. You gotta reprogram that whole computer. It has to be able to run that software. See, you're not programmed for abundance. You're not programmed for joy. You're not programmed for these things. You're programmed for poverty. You're programmed for depression. You know, you're programmed to eat unhealthy. This is how we're programmed. Because this is all we know. This is what we're accustomed to. That's why everything is always about systems and structures. Everything. And it bothers people when you don't adhere to these systems and structures. Let me tell somebody, oh, I don't really go by anything. That'll drive some people crazy. No, you got to go by something. You got to go by something because they have to label you something. They have to. You can't just be what you are. That's how society get us. And it boxes us. You put it in a box. Why? Don't put me in no box. Don't put me in a box. Don't do that to me. I hate being labeled I hate that, because nobody is just a label of a thing. And it's very misleading. And that's how so many people get manipulated in our culture, in our society. Because these people have these certain labels, and we had this idea in our minds because we so damn gullible, right? We got these childlike minds, and we believe that that's what that is. That's how they have us. So, you know, you got to raise your frequency. You got to up your vibration. It's all about this third eye. You know, like Dick Gripper said, the magic glasses on. And sometimes you have to fast and meditate. Sometimes you got to go completely without all that shit to level yourself up. Because sometimes it's food pulling you down. That's what I mean. It's so many things that's attacking us. It's food. It's music. It's your family members. It's your job. It's your school. It's something, yo. Something is always just... Something is always coming for your mind. Always. Always trying to influence you. Even down to memes. We talked about memes. It's like people's minds are infected. They have to utilize their bodies to spread that message. They feel compelled to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like on Vampire, like Vampire Diaries. They compel them. They look into their eyes and make them do what they want to do. Unless they have a certain herb that's in their bloodstream to prevent that from happening. It's the same shit. It's like a virus take over people's mind, and they have to spew that shit. They have to. They cannot control it. They don't even know what to do. So they can't even fathom the truth you're trying to tell them. They can't fathom that shit. You might as well be talking a foreign language. They can't get it. They can't. But it's for you to get it anyway. It's not for them. See, that's part of your lesson. Part of your lesson is to know what's for you is for you. And you can't take what's for you and make that for somebody else. You got to do that shit for you. That's for you. You came through your family lineage for a reason. You were supposed to. They supposed to be doing what they doing because they were supposed to open the gate for you. That was your path. That was your path. Yeah, you shouldn't fast to just lose weight. In my personal opinion, you shouldn't fast without a spiritual goal. You shouldn't fast without a spiritual goal. In my personal opinion. Yeah, the ancestors will isolate you in order to guide you. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Because as your frequency goes up anyway, there's going to be people that can't be around you anymore. You have to be okay with it. Because if you're not, you're going to hold yourself back. So you got to let that shit go. That's part of taking your mind back. You have to let that shit go. You have to let it go. It's nothing you can do about it. It's nothing you can do about it. The best thing you can do is find your tribe. That's one of the advantages of the internet. You can link with people genuinely on your frequency without having to leave your house. That's one of the major advantages that we have with this technology. That's one of them that we have. But, you know, we gotta remember that this is really a war. See, people don't always think about mental energy, right? When you're stressing, every time your thoughts and everything going on in your mind is taking your energy. It requires energy to do. If you look at the show Upload, in that show, they take the people before they die, like if they're dying, about to die, and they'll upload them to an afterlife, right? Now, in this afterlife, they still have to pay for everything. And you see that the people who are poor have less things that they can do in the afterlife. Some of them can't even move and talk and speak because they don't have enough currency to be able to use the mental energy to even do it. Don't never sleep on your mental energy. All that stress, you sitting there spending an hour, right, stressing over what you don't want to happen. So for a whole hour, you've been dispelling your mental energy. You've been using your energy. And then you wonder why you drain. You wonder why you drain after stressing all day. That shit is tiring. It don't matter if you don't move and go nowhere. It's still tiring. Because we have to understand energy. It's called Upload. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Upload. It's still energy. You're using your mind. They showed you, remember in Soul? Remember when they was at a different place and they could see people creating and that you could pull the thought down? That's work. Utilizing energy, that's work. That's your daily work. You understand? Maintaining your balance, staying balanced every day, that's your daily work. That shit is more important than your job. I don't care what nobody tell you. That shit is more important than your job. Your daily work. Because it's on you to maintain your own balance. It's on you to establish your own mental health, your own self-care. It's on you and nobody else. And if you notice, nothing in society teaches us this. Nothing. Nothing talks about none of these things to just help us with just being a human. None of that shit. Everything is taught us to make us good little workers, little batteries, little generators, just to keep this little shit going, to keep this matrix going. That's all we're taught about. That's it. That's why there's a million distractions. To keep you from yourself and from your work. To keep you from yourself. Your phone, man, it is. The phones are so addicting. Ain't they addicting? But it's also a distraction. So we have to maintain balance. You got to find a means to use that phone to ensure that you at least doing something dealing with some self-care. If you're going to be on the phone, but you got to balance. See, we becoming so technological, so digital. We don't go outside no more. You know? We need to do things. We need to be grounded. We have to ground ourselves. Even with all this spiritual knowledge and spiritual wisdom, we have to ground it. That's part of your kundalini, your chakra work. You don't just ascend. You don't just ascend. It circles around. It grounds also. You have to ground that energy. Which means you got to establish a foundation. That's all a religion is anyway. It's tying you back to source. What do you religiously do to tie you to source? Do you do yoga every day? Do you meditate every day? Do you pray every day? That's your religion. That's your religion. You do affirmations every day. Whatever you do every day, that's your religion. Whatever you do, because it ties you back to source. What's tying you back to source? See, so many of us are disconnected. That's why we unhappy, depressed, you know. So many of us are unhappy, you know. And we have so many different means of accommodating ourselves, right? We have so many different means of indulging ourselves until we can numb ourselves past these feelings, past this, you know, this yearning that we have, this inner yearning that we feeling that we can't understand. It's just a yearning to connect to your true self. You may be stuck in a role that you don't know that you are in. You may be pretending playing a role and you forgot you were in a role. Who are you? Who are you? Not what are you? Not what do you do? Who are you? Are you just what you do? Do you only identify as a mother? Do you only identify as a lawyer or whatever it is? Do you only identify as a black person? Because see, you have to be responsible for your own self-identity. And see what this TV and this music and shit is doing is identifying, it's giving you an identity for you. It's a false identity. It's a false identity. That's false light. You're dealing with false light. Why? Because you just want to be accepted. 9 times out of 10, you're not being your true self anyway because you want to be accepted. You know how much energy you are exerting not being yourself? Do you know how much energy? That's another reason why you're tired and you cannot get any rest. Why no matter how much you sleep, you still tired. Because you tired. Your soul tired of playing that goddamn role. It's tired. We ain't talking about sleep. We talking about being tired. You know when people say, I'm sick and tired? How tired are you? Because unless you changing something, you choosing it. But as long as you exert your energy trying to be something that you not, you're gonna miss out on all the opportunities for you. How are you gonna get what's for you not being you? Just think about it now. How are you gonna get what's for you? Even if we want to let's just be spiritual. What God has for me is for me, right? But what if you not being you? How are you gonna get what God has for you if you are not you? You trying to pretend being this person over here. And you comparing yourself to them, wondering why you're not getting their blessings because you're not them. You see what I'm saying? Be comfortable in your own skin. Be you. There are things that are just for you. There are things in this universe designed just for you. You're not insignificant. 1 billion different things had to occur in order for you to be here. That shit is magnificent. Give yourself some credit, right? Stop belittling yourself, man. You are a limitless fucking soul. Don't belittle yourself. Don't belittle yourself for things in this world. Who gives a fuck about money, man? Like, let's just be real. Who gives a fuck? Because when you die, you can't take that with you. It's not going to matter when you die. It's not going to matter. Why would you ever define your soul by some physical shit? Some physical. You going to take your soul and define it by material things, man. It don't make sense. Not when you know. Because see, when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. So when you know who and what you are, you just know. But it's a lot of us who don't know. We don't know who we are. And it's by design. So don't beat yourself up. It's by design. This is socially engineered. This is a big ass social experiment, if we won't be honest. Somebody somewhere is collecting data. Somewhere. This shit ain't nothing but data. It's nothing but data. So, don't be afraid to live, man. Don't be afraid to live. Because that's the whole key, is to keep you in fear. The whole thing is to keep you in fear. As long as you're scared, think about it. People will give away so much of their freedom just out of fear. Just out of fear. And out of security, that's not even real. It's not even real. Absolutely. Money is definitely an illusion. But people will come and tell you stuff about things you believe, like Christian and everything. But money is not real, bro. Money ain't real. That's an illusion. It's a note. It is paper. We are giving it the power. We're the damn currency. You the currency. You give the money the power. It's really all about you. And we got to get that, because everything is pushing us out of ourselves. Everything pushes us out, man. Everything is pushing us out. To seek something outside. That's why we keep being manipulated. That's why we keep having false leaders. People that ain't. That's why. Because we're seeking outside. You don't seek outside. And anybody telling you to seek outside ain't really for you. They trying to use you. That's why they wouldn't teach you to see. That was the point of their post. They're not going to teach you to see. I don't want you to see what I'm doing to you. Why would I do that? So why would your government, why would your opposition tell you how to free yourself? Let's be clear. Let's think about this thing as adults. Let's just be clear. Ain't nobody finna tell you how to defeat them, how to beat them, how to get free from up under them. Nobody's gonna tell you that. But a lot of it starts with you. It do. It start with you. Because that's why they want your mind. There's a reason why it's so hard for black people to do business with black people. It's a reason why we look at each other like that. We are looking at ourselves through the very same lens the world look at us through. Because that's the program. We don't want to. You know, a lot of us recognize it and choose not to go by those narratives. But it's an automatic program almost. It's an automatic reaction. You can't even blame these people. You got to remember that they are going to protect this very system. They're not unplugged. They have no means. They literally going to turn right into the agent right in front of your face. Right in front of your face, they're going to turn right into the agent. Right there in your face. They can't help it. They can't help it. Yeah, the universe is mental. Y'all, it's mental. Yep. Yeah, that's true. That's facts. Yeah, we do engineer our reality. Absolutely. We just got to become aware of it. Yo, you got the power. Zakiah, you said you got your energy report. You purchased it on Sunday. You should be receiving it by Thursday. Right now, the turnaround time is like 3-4 days. So you should be receiving it. I'm thinking today's Wednesday, by tomorrow. And be sure that I have your full name. For anybody who's purchased an energy report and it's been longer than 5 days and you haven't received it, check your email, because I probably emailed you because I need your full name, or I need to verify something pertaining to your name. So that's your first, middle, last name. So I just need to verify that, to make sure, because I want to be as accurate as possible. And so when you get it, it's a document. You're going to receive the document, and I would advise you to hold on to it, because you'll find use in it over the years. And it'll be provided, it'll have suggestions on there for you, and like means of balancing out the energy, the karma, just some things that you just may be dealing with. So anybody that has an energy report, if you haven't received it after 5 days, shoot me an email so I can make sure that I have all your information, and we'll go from there. Yep, we'll go from there. Okay, so all right, so yeah, you should be getting it soon. If there's any issues at all, then I would email you, but I probably just haven't quite gotten to it yet. So I got you. Christopher, when did you get yours? When did you get yours? You need help with putting out a book? You already wrote the book? So, I just kind of wanted to get with you guys. I want to do the live thing pretty consistently so we can be sure that, it's not too many of these fraudulent accounts out here. I figure that's the best means of, connecting with my true audience, is by consistently being live and actually engaging with you all. So you guys should know my terminology, know the way I talk, know the way I speak and everything. But there's a lot of people out there who, just coming across me, or, they might not be as fluent on these social media, platforms and apps. And, sometimes people take advantage of them, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, and I hate it, because, it's in my likeness, and it just feels like it's nothing I can really do about it. But, it is what it is. We're not going to allow that to stop us, because it can. It can. So, but we're not going to pay attention to that. We're not going to give that any energy. We're going to put all our energy into just building these authentic, real connections. So everything that's fraudulent is going to fall by the wayside anyway. So we don't have to put no energy to that. We just let that die. Right. Well, as far as your book, you could always self-publish. There's different means for that. You might just shoot me an email. And I can, we can kind of chop it up a little bit. So shoot me an email and we can kind of do that. But if as far as the class, there's a few of you who've already gotten the class. Now the class is 2 classes. There's the numerology class and there's the astrology class. Now the way I approach these classes is how to use them for shadow work. It's specifically shadow work. Like, we're going to go over everything about energy. Like, energy. I'm going to give it to you guys so you can perceive things from an energetic level and a holistic level. So in that way, you understand energy to how to balance it in your life, so you can see it in your life. I want it to make a difference for you. I don't see a point in egotistic information. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to make a difference in your life. You know, so I wanted to make a difference in your life. So that's the whole point of those classes. So August the 15th, they should be ready. So that's in a little less than 2 weeks. You'll get all the information. You'll be able to log into the website and be able to see the course that you purchased and whatnot. So that's how that's going to go for anybody who's been asking about that. Oh, no problem, Cedric. And if anybody, look, if y'all got podcasts, you know, if y'all want to do lives, y'all want to do seminars, I'm available. I'm available because I'm open to connecting with other people, you know, just expanding this whole thing. So if you would like for me to come on to your show or do something with you, you got an event or something like that, just shoot me an email and we can discuss the particulars and the details and all of that. So, you know, just to let everybody know, that definitely is something that I make myself available for, that I'm going to do more fluently. Me and we actually been thinking about signing books, you know, doing the books and going to different places and having the books available and actually, you know, engaging, maybe doing a live event or something. So it's definitely something that we've been talking about and we're thinking about. So if anybody want to collaborate on something like that, then yes, I will absolutely be available. I will be open to it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the live up. You guys can go ahead now. I do know, like I said, there's fake accounts out there. I will never inbox you to say I'm gonna give you a reading or ask for a donation or something like that. I don't do the inboxing thing. So if anybody inboxes you from me and it looks like me, it's probably not me. So just go check the bio, because in my bio, you know, everything is there in my bio. But if you want to donate, if you want to give to the Cash App is Know Thyself Universe. I absolutely appreciate y'all who's sending the donations, because we definitely can use it, because we're doing this thing full time. And you know, it gets tough. And if you want to get the books, everything is in the link in my bio. But before we kind of dip off, we got any questions? Anybody got any questions about anything we talked about today? Discuss the report once you get it. Yes, it's very detailed in itself. But any questions that you have, just reply back to an email. And if I can't answer that via email, I need to contact you. Then we'll go about that. You know. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate the donation. Thank you. Absolutely. So, and you know, you guys let me know what type of content or what type of things we want to talk about a little bit more. I've been thinking about changing my icon, but I feel like they're just going to change it. You know, I feel like they just will change it too. So I don't want them to influence my moves too much. You know, like, so what I'm doing is I'm marking all my videos and whatnot. So from here on out, every video is going to have a watermarker saying about the inboxing and everything. So even if they take that content and post it, you know, it's gonna be there. Like I said, y'all, just pay close attention. Just pay close attention, okay? Just pay close attention to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Let's see. What should a person do after being connected, but after a while becoming disconnected from source? In what ways are you feeling disconnected? Now you say you was connected, but after a while you feeling disconnected. So is it safe to say that, you know, you kind of awakened, you know, got more into the information, and feeling the disconnect? Are you feeling, you know, more depressed, or, you know, having low energy? Because that can be a thing too. You know, that can be a thing too. But a lot of times I found that if you come into a lot of knowledge, a lot of, you know, if you awaken and then you find yourself in that low place, a lot of times it goes back to getting grounded. A lot of times it goes to getting grounded. But there's something, you're pushing for a self-realization at the moment. If you're that feeling depressed, you about to push through a breakthrough. So you're probably going through some cyclic, you know, type of thing that's pushing you into a breakthrough. But if you would like to get a session to build on that, to go into detail, then contact me and we can do that. Yes, the knowledge can definitely be overwhelming. That's why you gotta stay grounded, cause it can almost, cause you're gonna go through a whole cycle of so many emotions. You're gonna get angry, you're gonna go through so many different things, and you have to allow yourself to feel them though. Part of it is feeling it. You have to feel it. You gotta let it pass. You gotta recognize you're not just those feelings. It's part of that whole initiation. I think that living this life in this Western world is like going through the underworld in the old times. Like, everything that we doing is all a part of that initiation. Everything. I absolutely think that. So, but I would need to know maybe a little bit more about what you got going on. But the first thing I recommend is get grounded for real. Spend some time in nature. Put your phone away. Don't, your TV. Fasting can do it. Because, sometimes food is connected to parasites. Parasites have a spiritual, energy to them. They're parasitic in more than just being physical, also spiritually. So it can be draining you physically. You know what I'm saying? It can be affecting your brain chemistry. It can go back to food as well. So that's why I tell people, when you fast, have a spiritual goal. Don't ever fast for to lose weight. It's connected to spirituality. Absolutely, Will. We definitely gonna connect one day. I would love that. I would love to connect with you. I love your knowledge, brother. I would love to connect with you one day. Absolutely. So that's it for now. Everything else from here, you guys know how to contact me. So until next time, peace, y'all.